Could you please speak a little bit about the process of developing the State of the Union speech? I mean, I've got to imagine a speech that long, with that many different issues, with that many different goals, it's got to be quite an interesting process.
Interesting is a very charitable word for it. No, it's the hardest speech to write because, look, you sort of know at the outset that a speech that's going to last 50 minutes to an hour is not going to be the most memorable speech. As I've been saying, like, speeches are stories, and if you need longer than 20 or 30 minutes to tell your story, it's probably not a story and it's more of a laundry list. And every year we would say at the beginning of the State of the Union, this is the year it's going to be different and it's not going to be a laundry list of policies. And then every year, the policies just start creeping in. And that's just because, the point of the State of the Union is to talk to the country about all your priorities for that year, domestic and foreign, right? Domestic, international. And first of all, giving any speech where you talk about all the domestic priorities in America and then everything that's going on in the world, it's a hard story to tell. And I mean, we'd get to the point early on in one of the State of the Unions, I think, on the foreign policy side, we got a criticism from someone internally that was like, you've mentioned every continent but South America in this speech, so we have to say something about South America in the State of the Union. I'm like, well, do we have anything new to say about South America? Like, is there a new policy? Are we going there? It's like, no, but we just have to mention something because otherwise, we're going to screw up relations there. And, it's back to what I was saying about, like, sometimes you want to listen to this stuff because, yeah, if not mentioning South America in the State of the Union was actually going to damage our relationship with our allies in South America, that would be a problem, and you'd rather make it a more boring speech and keep the alliances strong than, like, keep your story right? But that kind of thing happens over and over on a whole bunch of different issues. And so the tension between, writing a State of the Union that sings, that's memorable, that's great, and just trying to get the job done is a very difficult one. The process, we try to keep the process as small as possible on the State of the Union so that it's not just everyone gets to, send in their wish list and you just put it all on the speech, and that usually helps. And also, we meet with the president before the State of the Union and try to ask him, like, what are your themes this year? What are the big takeaways from the speech that you want? And once we have that, then we can kind of go to everyone else who's trying to get their pet project or their line or their policy in and say, look, this is what the president wants to talk about, and this doesn't fit. And we'll do another event on your issue right after the State of the Union. And we try to do it that way. So, but it's not a fun process. And you stay up, like, till 2 or 3 a.m. 2 or 3 weeks in a row. It's brutal.